recently sat down for a chat with Abi Neill, who, along with her husband Rob, own the incredibly successful Abigail's Collection and the Groom's Room in Colchester in Essex. Abi is a leading light in the UK bridal industry. She has combined her passion and flair with her undoubtedly excellent business brain to run her incredibly successful bridal business for the last 15 years. More recently, Abi has been offering her experience and expertise by way of business coaching to great effect. Between them, Abi and Rob have 11 TWIR honours, and Abi has been a member of the judging panel for the bridal retailer category for the last few years. Abi is brilliant, and I hope you enjoy this interview, but more importantly, I hope you find it useful. So Abi, nice to see you. Welcome to this little conversation. Tell us a little bit, introduce us to who you are and what you do these days.
Sure, so thanks so much, Damian. My name's Abi Neill and I own Abigail's Collection, the Groom. We're based in Colchester. We've been there 15 years. We're a bridal wear and a menswear company. I run that with my husband, Rob. I also launched a coaching business last year, which is going very well. And I do a lot of writing for our industry. I'm an economist and a features writer for Bridal Buyer and various others. So yeah.
Excellent. So it sounds like pretty busy as ever. What is it about what you do that you love the most?
Gosh, well, I think it's fair to say that working in the wedding industry is pretty special. You know, as all sort of wedding industry professionals and business owners will know, I think it is a very, very special privilege to be involved with couples in their, their plans underway and, preparing for the biggest day of their lives. So I think that, there are days when I walk through our business and we've got all these rooms buzzing with brides and grooms planning their wedding. It's just super special. And to be part of that journey, part of our couple plans is really awesome. So yeah. Love it.
Great to hear. And how did you come to start your business in this industry? No one really dreams of being in the wedding industry. How did you come to be involved?
It was a cliche. I went wedding dress shopping, thought I could do it better. And it was a bit bland, my experience. Obviously, I went wedding dress shopping a long, long time ago. And I just wanted to create an environment that really focused on special moments, incredible product, and a celebration of what this couple are sort of going through. And that's really what set me on the sort of road to, I suppose I just didn't like my own experience and couldn't understand why it hadn't been more special. So yeah, it was one of those, I thought I could do it better. So I went off and got a £25,000 loan and here I am.
Well,
we're getting loans.
Well done. It's worked out for you. I mean, it's not an uncommon story. We hear it a lot. People, had a bad experience, think they could do better from their own weddings, and have gone for it and set up businesses within the wedding industry. It's a common story, but it's great to hear one that's been so successful. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So, but obviously, weddings can be tricky, especially in your line of business where you're dealing with brides and mothers and bridesmaids. Who are looking for that perfect dress. How do you balance that personal life with your business life when it's probably weekends or late evening appointments and all sorts of inconvenient times for you? How do you get that balance right?
It's a tricky one, actually. And when you're an ambitious business person, I find this certainly with some of the business owners that I coach, it is really difficult to find the balance. And it's something, if I'm honest, that I've never been that brilliant at. But we came to realise probably about 6-7 years ago that if we did not schedule frequent holidays, and that doesn't necessarily mean extravagant holidays abroad, I'm talking just some time off. If we did not schedule it, it wouldn't happen. And I say that to the guys I coach and other retailer friends. If you sit and wait for the time when you can go, hey, everything's under control, I'm just going to take 2 weeks off, it just doesn't happen. So what we tend to try and do now is we try and book 3 to 4 holidays. Fortunately, we are able to go away most times, but we have to schedule that in and take that time out of the business. During the week, it's harder. You're absolutely right. With our industry, evenings, weekends, it's really hard. I think even my daughter Arabella, who's 8, insists on PFT, phone-free time at home. You're working too hard when your own daughter's lecturing you about it.
It'd be the other way around, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is really, really hard, but it's something that business owners, I think you've just got to make that time, make those decisions, write it out in the diary and make sure you get that getaway time. It makes it easier when it's such a 24/7 business. So
I agree. It's interesting to hear you say, because I think lots of people spend a lot of time in their businesses and can't see an opportunity to step away, but you actually owe it to not only your family, of course, but to your clients to have that fresh perspective that a break or a holiday or whatever you need to do can give you.
you come back
Absolutely.
refreshed, ready to go. Otherwise, the bags under the eyes. No, I'm sure you've never had bags under your eyes, Abby, but you know that can be a giveaway. And any sort of malaise or fatigue in your approach to your clients can really be detrimental, can't it? So yeah,
I think you're right, and I think mindset is everything. And when you're trying to work on or in a business and you're driving it, you know, you've got to have your A game. It's really, really tough. There's a huge amount of mental pressure being a business owner, isn't there? Particularly in an industry like ours. Mindset's everything. Taking time out is 100% essential.
We've so far we haven't mentioned the elephant in the room, which is coronavirus and COVID-19 and the situation in which we all find ourselves, affecting all aspects of our lives. But I'm interested in how it's affecting you as a business. So how do you see the new, when brides come to you booking an appointment from when you're allowed to open again, how do you see that changing? What new things are you having to put in place?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting area. And I mean, the first thing to say is that I know so many businesses, so many retailers, so many wedding industry professionals that have just found this a hugely diabolical and very difficult time. And first thing I want to say is, you know, hats off to you all if you're actually still there, not an alcoholic, and managing to get through each day, because it has been so hard for so many people. Bridal for us, we are back to work tomorrow. We reopen the store. I've got my team coming back a week before, which is really, really exciting. That in itself has its challenges because, of course, I've got certain fears and concerns from my own team that are coming back to work with the public, so we have to manage that carefully. We open the store next week, which is the 16th. We have a lot of appointments and a huge thirst for brides that want to get out there and start planning their weddings and enjoying the positive aspects of, you know, planning. So that's all really fantastic. A huge emphasis is now being placed in our boutique on social distancing. That's the key thing, the key rule, you know, imposed by the government. That's really, really important to us. Brides are going to probably be going into bridal boutiques under the rule of, you know, taking one person on with them. We're very lucky we've allowed 2, so it's a bride plus 2 instead of bride plus 1. So that actually has its advantages for a bride. They have more space to decide on what it is they love in terms of their dress. So it's social distancing, it's reduced numbers of guests within the store, you know, lots of hand sanitisation, you know, and various other things. We've reduced things like, you know, refreshments and our little sweeties and treats. So we've had to be really mindful of keeping a very safe, minimal contact shopping experience. Sure. Still a very positive one. We'll be wearing masks in our fitting areas. Lots of boutiques will be introducing PPE, either masks or gloves, and there's a huge variation of how people are doing that. And then the other thing in boutiques is obviously this business of the fabrics and the dresses and potential transmission on fabrics. And again, there's 3 different ways that our retailers within our sector are handling that. We ourselves will be antibacterial spraying and cream. So lots and lots of reassurance for customers and lots of actions in store to give everybody the confidence, you know, to come and enjoy themselves. So yeah, great. lots there.
And I know you'll look after them. I mean, it's great to hear that there's this thirst for brides who are planning their wedding to get stuck in and plan and get back out there, because, you know, that fuels the industry, of course. That's great to hear.
Absolutely.
I'm sure they'll love the experience of coming to Abigail's collection.
Thank you.
It's not just about the space and the dresses, it's the warmth of the people who are and your team who are helping them. So I'm sure they'll love it. How's it affected the supply chain internationally, though, from your dresses, the stock that you need to buy in? How has that worked with coronavirus?
Yeah, we've been very lucky. Unlike normal sort of high street fast fashion stores that are, you know, stock building and then, you know, they're out of date in terms of seasonality, we're quite lucky in bridal. We haven't had to concern ourselves too much about stock building, and our manufacturers and designers have been very reassuring. The production and the lead times haven't really been affected. So whilst we've all been at home losing the plot and trying to do what we can to manage business and build excitement for our future opening, the manufacturers and designers have been busy producing. So I don't foresee too many delays in that respect from a garment viewpoint at all. So we're very good with that.
So does that mean that brides can still have the same sort of lead time with buying their dress? I mean, how has that been affected at all?
Yeah, even better than that. There's been a few real shining lights in our industry, some really fantastic global players that have actually, you know, very much publicly advertised that they have invested huge amounts in additional stock, so that the turnaround on dresses for any brides that are now on the back foot in terms of how much time they have to buy their dress can receive dresses sooner. So the traditional 8 to 10, 12-month lead times that some designers have in place have reduced quite significantly in quite a lot of areas. And I think savvy retailers are really looking at that as well. You know, they're keeping a close eye on what they're able to release from their store immediately and pick up stock, and working with the designers to make sure that they can fulfill any requirements and look after all those brides that are excited about coming in.
Yeah, they're ready and waiting, right? They if they can get their dress sooner, then so much the better, I would imagine.
We've got lots of brides still shopping for May, and even brides that are in touch that are coming in our first week that are, you know, raring to go to buy their dress for the end of this year. So, you know, I think there's a huge amount of potential there, and brides, like we've said, are really excited, and designers are working with us on that. So I feel really positive about that.
I want to take you back a few years to when you first got involved with the Wedding Industry Awards, and I'm interested to know what it was that first attracted you to TWIA, as we call it, as you know, and made you enter in the first place.
Yeah, TWIA. I love TWIA. I've been a bit of a TWIA awards junkie, haven't I, Damien?
It's going to make me blush.
Oh, yeah, no. So when I first started the business, I think targets and goals are really important for any business owner, and it was always my, you know, my target, my aim to try and win an award a year, which is probably quite ambitious. Nevertheless, we've done it pretty well, actually. TWIA, when that came along, was a huge breath of fresh air, primarily because of this. It is a level playing field, and I think that's crucial in an awards programme. There are far less politics involved, in my opinion, and I speak as a judge as well as somebody that's been lucky enough to win, I think it's 11 TWIA honours. It's a level playing field. Feedback that you get from the TWIA Awards, I think it's sensational in terms of marketing. What that provided us with has been absolutely amazing over the years. What attracted me in the first place was the fact that these awards orientated primarily around the bride's feedback. So unlike a lot of award programs, you know, you've developed this fantastic kind of average voter score, which is absolutely brilliant, but also all of those, the bride's comments, their feedback. When you win a TWIA award, you know that you are doing a really fantastic job, and you know there's no way around that. There's no argument on that, because this is about the brides, their feedback, their scores, and what they think of your business. So having already been on the award circuit for quite some time, when TWIA came along, it was a real breath of fresh air because of the way that it's constructed and the way it's judged. So I spotted that and I thought, now they're ones to win. And yeah, so began my award junkie TWIA relationship.
So how did winning your various awards in the Wedding Industry Awards help your business?
Yeah, winning a TWIA award is massive, both regionally, I think, and nationally. So whenever we won on a regional basis, the response that we got and how we used the winning of that award, I think was as big as when we won on a national basis. Don't get me wrong, winning nationally is incredible, and the 3 national awards and honours that we won meant a huge amount to us. But the regionals were really powerful for us. Because
you pull from a fairly regional... on a regional basis, most
Absolutely.
Of the grooms are coming from a local area-ish.
Absolutely. I think it's fair to say that the TWIA awards for us, they would drive new inquiries without question. I think that it did give us something very much to shout about, you know, from entering to going along to the evenings, then either winning or in some cases not. All of that provided us with incredible social media content, and goodness knows we love our social media. And then it helped build relationships with other wedding industry professionals. It definitely raised our profile in the industry. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be coaching other businesses. I've got no doubt that having won those awards and my involvement with those awards has contributed to other people taking me seriously as a wedding industry professional. So yeah, I think it's been massive what we've gained from being involved with the TWIA awards, and winning or losing. It's been massive. Yeah.
Great. I mean, what would you say to bridal retailers particularly, or any wedding industry professional who doesn't think they're well established enough or big enough as a business to enter? I mean, you know, you've entered from quite an relatively early stage in your business career, if you like, or business life. What advice would you give, or what would you say to those people who think we're not ready yet?
I would encourage anyone to enter at the time where they've got, you know, happy customers and great relationships in place. As we know, it's not about the size of the business or how many weddings you've held. You know, if you deliver a fantastic service, if you're passionate about your business, I would say go for it. I don't think it's about and we won against businesses that were much bigger than us. So they would have had many more weddings than us, and we were successful in the career circuit. So it's not really about how long you've been established or how many weddings you've had. It's really about the passion behind the business, the service you deliver, and how confident you are that you can get your customers behind you and provide that feedback. So I'd go for it 100%.
So Abi, tell me, you must have had or faced some serious challenges as you started your business and then as you've continued to grow and develop. Can you think of a challenge that was particularly tricky for you and how you overcame it? Because I'm sure that lots of people listening
Daily. Every day. No.
People would really like to hear it to give them some sort of inspiration and help.
Okay. Well, obviously as a business owner, you face lots and lots of challenges. I would say one of our challenges last year was we had a fire at the shop. It was pretty brutal. And that was a very difficult time. We had to close the shop. We lost a lot of stock. Our reception was pretty obliterated, and we had to kind of start again, which has been handy. Now we've had COVID as well. So it was an exceptionally challenging time. And then we had to go through the rigmarole of insurance. Insurance is a nightmare. And, you know, it's all very well, you receive your insurance, you read the small print, you think, yeah, got that. But it isn't actually until you have to test your insurance policy that you do actually know and understand what you may or may not be entitled to. So, you know, if I'm honest, it's not a particularly positive story, but we got through it. We came out stronger. We chose to use it as an opportunity to really spruce up our business, you know, and refurbish, look at it with fresh eyes. You know, it was financially really difficult, and it was really, you know, a frightening and depressing time. But we got through it, and this has taught me that whatever you face, including COVID, you can get through it and come out the other side. You've just got to stay positive and do everything you can. So fire was difficult. That would be one of my biggest challenges. On an everyday sort of business basis, I would say staffing challenges are the thing that I think that all of us as business owners can become, you know, quite frustrated with. And like I say, I do a bit of coaching on that. But, you know, staffing challenges are just something that goes with the territory, unfortunately, of growing a business. So you have to stay positive there as well.
If you could give your younger self some advice from when you were in the first years of your business, what would you say to them?
Okay, a couple of things I would say. Owning a business and setting up a business is incredibly hard work, and to make a success of it is incredibly hard work. I think that people underestimate when they open a business just how much of yourself you have to give to that. It's a lifestyle choice, and I've really come to understand that. So that's one thing. I think setting goals and targets is something that businesses need to do more of. So many business owners, they will monitor performance and you know, keep a close eye on things like conversion rates and lead acquisition, but actually setting goals and targets and sharing them with the people that you work with, I think is absolutely fundamental to success and growth. And like we said earlier on, taking time out. I know that I've sat in front of a hypnotherapist and discussed whether or not I'm having a breakdown. We did manage to conclude it was business burnout. And, you know, I don't mean to make that sound as heavy as it does sound, but business burnout, it can be a very real thing. You have to take care, and you have to take time out. So they would be my things. They would be the three things.
Wise advice, I think. Hard to do in both cases, but certainly I think, you know, people listening who are setting up their businesses relatively new, you know, to take that on board will only help. So thank you so much for that.
Okay.
And let's look forward now into 2021 and perhaps beyond. What, in your opinion, should wedding business owners be focusing on in order to get ahead, in order to grow and develop their businesses?
I think what is really crucial at the moment is remembering, you know, we've got two things we're dealing with at the moment. We've got a lot of postponed weddings, lots of brides and grooms who have really, let's face it, been to hell and back. They've been planning the biggest day of their lives for sometimes years, and all of a sudden that isn't happening. Rob and I had a holiday this year that we obviously couldn't go on, and we sat in our kitchen, you know, drowning ourselves in gin. And actually it was at that point that we said, can you imagine, you know, this is how depressed we are. We've been on that holiday several times. We've been there several times, and we can go next year. But how our brides and grooms are actually feeling right now. So I think that's something that's really key for all wedding industry professionals when, at the moment, when they're dealing with their postponed couples. They have had a very hard time of it. That's crucial. And also, the other thing I would say, again, similar, it's relational. I think remembering that we work in a relational sector, you know, to us, it's another wedding, to us, it's another couple, to us, it's the emails and the appointments and the whatever. It's their wedding day. It is one of the most important days of our couple's lives. And I think that is absolutely critical for everybody to remember. And also social media, hugely important. So whilst we're busy trying to find ways to deepen our connection with our brides and grooms and sort of develop our relational businesses, it's really important that we do lots and lots of social media and try and think out of the box of ways to impress them and engage with them. So yeah, if they're any use, they're the bits of information I'd suggest.
I'm sure they'd be helpful. Again, I mean, it is a tough thing to do, isn't it? To stand out in the crowd, if you like, and to market yourselves and sort of put your hand up to find those brides and grooms who inevitably, by getting more wedding bookings, you're going to then grow your business.
I think this is a time, really, Damien, sorry, I think sometimes where COVID obviously has a number of very damaging impacts to us as businesses and business owners, but it isn't a time to suddenly shrink back. It is a time to sit forward and market the business. Entering something like TWIR is exactly what companies should be doing right now, because, you know, we have to find ways to market our business and stand out from the crowd. And certainly we've talked about lots of things today, but certainly TWIR is absolutely one of the absolute musts, I think, for businesses right now to get out there, wave their flag of success.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously helped you, and we're delighted. You know, we do see a lot of businesses. We know we've touched a lot of businesses and helped a lot of businesses over the years. And it's key to us that we can continue to do that. So the support of the industry and entering the awards is great, and we'll continue to run them. What we're really hoping is that we can get back to our events in November. Yes. If not November, then maybe we'll put them into January or February, because as you know, and I have fond memories of several events with you guys. They're great, just a great excuse to gather the industry together in a room. And God, by the time we get to have our events, if we're able to, we'll all really need one, I think. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I agree. Fingers crossed. Back to the partying and the headache tablets the next day.
Yeah, well, we like to have a party, that's for sure. Abi, thank you so much for your time and for your giving us a little insight into what it takes to run a business in your sector of the wedding industry. I'm sure people will find it really useful. We wish you all the best with your shop, and to all your staff, and to all your lovely brides. Do keep us posted, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much. See you later.